Okay, restarting the video. I was doing the video, and my wife called on the phone and asking if she wanted to pick up food or anything. I'm like, no, I already got a pizza. Come on home. Already got it. So it's all good. Anyway, let's see. I was rambling way too much. Like I do, I ramble. Anyway, there was a 2 day seminar this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. It is Sunday now, Sunday evening. I've got my mentorship tonight, unless he pushes this off a little bit, because he is also one of the speakers at the seminar, so he may have to push it off. We'll just see. It is being hosted by Portal to Ascension. I believe the people that are putting it on have pulled it all together. It's the Wish Alliance. My intuition was kind of saying I don't really need to attend this one for some weird reason, because I love these. I love listening to the Wish Alliance folks and love Portal to Ascension. You know, I'm learning. I still don't know anything, but I'm learning. So I love it. But my intuition is kind of nah. And then what started happening this weekend, just for strange happening stuff, is yesterday. If you're familiar with my background on my strange happening things, that strange happening number one, it felt like I was kicked out of the classroom, told to come here. I mentioned these other starseeds volunteer. I was told to come here. And I didn't know if it was a punishment or me being bad or kicked out of classroom is what I said on my Starseed number 70 video. I was kicked out of the classroom. I guess I'm a troublemaker. I don't know. And that started changing in my head. It's not that I was a troublemaker. The changes I was making was to help too much, I think. I think I was trying to help the people of Earth too much in that strange happening number one, and it was causing problems. Um, Pushing things too fast, I think. But as a result of that, maybe just thinking in my head, it's just coming together. It's not a punishment thing. Maybe because I started feeling self aware, and everybody else around me wasn't really aware of themselves or aware of what was going on. It was like I was changing and told to come here. And maybe it was a way to help more, help directly in this reality, help directly instead of kind of indirectly. Plus, becoming this other awareness, like I'm moving from a stage of not really understanding self and being to something else. And at one of my videos, I mean, it's almost like I was ready to move to the next stage or the next level from this group of beings that aren't awake yet, even up there, aren't aren't there yet, or waking up again, they're asleep or something, and then I was waking up or something, changing, moving to the next stage, or needing to learn some more, something. I don't know. I don't know. It's my catchphrase. I don't know. I really don't know. But I don't think it was some sort of punishment to come here. I think it was I was wanting to help more. Yesterday, also, at the same time that this is going on, coming into my head, so coming this way is a strange happening number one. Coming this way is that walk-in experience, and they're meeting yesterday in my head. They met together and joined in my head. You know, I've already incorporated everything into myself: the dark, the light, the higher self, the lower self here, and I'm in the middle of it all. This body's in the middle of it all. I've incorporated all that, but a little more understanding, and it's almost. I remember being that higher self version. I remember that. Um, I've remembered it for a while now, for quite a while. I remember this back in teenagers years, but looking down at Earth and seeing all of time at once, seeing everything at once, and there were other beings there with me, like right beside me, um, and I'm wanting to help also more than normal. That higher self was still the same way as this strange happening number one, whatever self. So both of those selves are wanting to help more than normal. Um, and I'm wanting to get closer to Earth, but if it's like if you come down too close, there's a point of no return where it's like a slide coming down. You can come down so far, but then it's hard to get back. It's like coming down to a lower level, lower plane of existence, coming down. And once you hit a certain point of no return, it's a slide. You come in, and that's it. These other beings around me were like, why bother trying to help? Because once up there, once you had that thought of, I want to help, by the time you've had that thought, just like that thought, an entire person's life, being born, living their full life, dying, it's within that thought. So by the time you finish that thought, their life is over, and they're, I want to say, back here, back with the other beings outside of time, back with us, back home. They're back home, and they understand. So it's just a flash of a thought of their lifetime, and then they're back home and they fully understand. So why bother helping? Because by the point you have that thought of helping, their life is done and they're instantly back. It's such a flash of a life here on Earth. It's so quick. Still, I'm thinking up there, boy, this video is getting weird, isn't it? I'm sorry, but it is getting weird. But that's the way it is. I'm just telling you honestly, this is the way I remember it. But I did get too close. I wanted to help because looking at everybody here, it's a moment of not terror, a moment of not knowing, scared, being afraid, a moment of fear, living here because you don't know. And you just don't know. And it's just a moment lost in the dark. And I still wanted to help. So that higher self, when I had this walking experience, I remember that, thinking this up there and coming down and hitting that point of no return and sliding down. But it was almost on purpose. It's almost like the only way I could really help was to be here. I know it's kind of weird. It's all really weird. That's all really weird sounding, but God, this is so incoherent of me trying to put this together. I don't have an outline or anything I'm talking about. I'm just rambling here. But yesterday, Saturday, it was these two things meeting. Strange happening number one, remembering that self without awareness of self and being told to come here. I don't think it was a punishment. I think it was me learning more and waking up kind of thing for that other being outside of time. And then here's this even higher being way out there coming down and intersecting to here to create me the way I am now. The reason I'm bringing up this whole long rambling video is today, again, intuition, saying don't get involved with this particular seminar, even though I wanted to, because I've learned more. I have learned more. I started, the video popped up on this guy called Melchizedek, so I saw it. And then this other channeling work by Quo, Q-U-O or something like that, Quo. It's kind of like the channeled raw material and the law of one. It's, I guess, parallel with that. They're saying the same things kind of, but from my understanding, the Quo stuff is a little more common language, easier to understand for most people. I saw I watched 2 or 3 of the videos today, and the last one I just watched had some words in there that really clicked with me. Specifically, when they said there are these beings that come here to this earth, like starseeds, like we've talked about starseeds, coming here to increase the vibration of the planet Earth. I'm pulling up my tablet here so I can reference a particular video. There we go. I had to pull up my tablet for that video. But beings come in here, and it's not just that they're starseeds, but they're kind of a different type. And this channel being, Quo, called them guardians. And when he said that, I'm like, what? There's that word. And in a recent Strange Happening on April 7th, 2021, Strange Happening 115, I'll put a link below. Title is, It Happened Again, Songs on the Radio. And 4 weird songs came on. And I think it's as a result of a video I had just before that one. Story Time, Annihilation Avoided. I'll put a link below for that one too. I don't even know which one that was, but it was shortly before that. There was this dream I had, only it didn't seem like a dream. It seemed very, very real. And I started realizing, I think this was a test. And I think I passed it. I think it was a test. And I passed. And then when I started realizing that, all these songs came on the radio. Like before, The Protector Prepares, Protector of Truth, Protector of Earth. And then I'm like, well, if this is all true and this is all real, what kind of... And in my head, I'm not thinking protector. For some reason, when I was about to ask my dad in the car out loud, if this is all real, what kind of guardian would it be? And that word came in my head, guardian, not protector. I mentioned in the video, said, what kind of guardian would I be? But I didn't mention in the video that that was the word that came in my head, was guardian, not protector. And then the song came on the radio exactly at that moment, called Guardians at the Gate. And I'm like, and there's that word in this quote material. So I'm like, that's so funny. In my missions to protect and all this. And going right along with that, they used another reference that I totally understood. He was talking about planting seeds of hope. And I'm like, I mentioned that in another one of my videos. In order for me to learn to forgive everyone for everything across time, I needed an anchor, and I put a little seed of hope in everyone. And that's what I did, was a little seed of hope. And this quote material used the same words, like seeds of hope or something like that. And then they used a Johnny Appleseed reference. And I'm like, seriously, because even in my teenage years, after this walking experience, this is the image in my head for all my life, is Johnny Appleseed. I'm putting little seeds of hope, little seeds of possibilities, light, positive thought, and they're little seeds I was putting in people in hopes that they would grow over the years. And they talked about this in this material. And I did this as a teenager, throughout my life, starting as a teenager. And in my head, I'm thinking Johnny Appleseed. And this is what I did all my life, was little seeds of hope in people as I met them and went around. And I'm like, how funny. And that's when they're talking about this guardian type of stuff. I'm like, wow. So this weekend, these two things intersected, this higher self, the strange happening number one. I'm thinking the strange happening number one, it wasn't a punishment to get out here. It was me wanting to help even more. And this is a way to help even more. And I'm changing and waking up kind of thing, even in this other existence, about to change to a different level from what I was. And then my whole thing has been, what I really needed was knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. And for some reason, somewhere in that video, they're talking about understanding. And I think they use wisdom too. And I'm like, this is all it. And I haven't ever heard this quote material before, but these are the references that were in my head most all my life, and that I did. And this video is explaining some of it, and this is what I did for all my life. I find it interesting and strange, and that's why I'm doing the strange rambling, strange happening video, because I am rambling off the top of my head, but I don't know how to describe it any better. It was a very good weekend because I didn't attend the Portal to Alliance hybrid 2-day seminar. I really wanted to, but intuition was saying no. And then all this other stuff started happening, and I've learned even more. It feels like I've learned what I needed to learn. So I think it's helped a lot. And what's happening right at this moment, right now, making this video, Guardians at the Gate, and I'm beginning to see what the gate is. Some people call it harvest, but that's a horrible word. It's more like changing what some people call the third density to the fourth density, and to become more. And that's like a gateway. It feels like a gate. There's a gate there, a gateway. Guardians at the Gate. I'm like, that's a gateway, is that change. Huh. It's like stepping through a door or a gate. Huh. I don't know. There's my catchphrase. I don't know. That's my rambling for the day. Rambling for the weekend. Oh, and while we're at it, another thing this weekend. Somewhere this week, it wasn't this weekend, this week, I saw a video and on something, maybe it was one of the Portal to Ascensions things or somewhere, I don't remember where, but somebody was talking about Skinwalker Ranch. I don't know anything about Skinwalker Ranch, but they say it's some kind of weird, mystical UFO or something weird site. I don't know anything about it. It's just a weird sound. Skinwalker, ugh. Sounds kind of weird. Kind of horror story, kind of sounding. Anyway. But they said there was a group of people there, and one of the people saw this infinity symbol, a metal infinity symbol floating in the air, and then they knew it was all super weird or something like that. I'm like, what? An infinity symbol? And the strangest thing that was going through my head, hearing this, I don't know why this is in my head. It's another one of those strange things going through my head that shouldn't be going through my head. But there's that infinity symbol. So they're seeing this in metal or whatever. What I'm seeing in my head is it turning and then a line going. Jeez, can't even draw a straight line, can I? It's a straight line through there. And what I'm seeing is a reflection of one to the other. That this is almost like a mirrored surface, and what's up here is being reflected down here. I'm like, how funny is that? That's above, so below, micro, the holographic universe, macro and micro kind of thing, holographic universe. I'm like, well, that's kind of funny. Huh. Isn't that interesting with that being the reflection? And then there's this whole thing about reflections and this weird armor I got with a mirror on the inside, and it's reflective, and I'm thinking reflection's reflective, and it's reflection. And then my mind split, I guess, below and above. So first it went below, and what I'm seeing at a lower level is this. It's the same string, but this is tightly bound, and I'm seeing a DNA chain in this. I'm seeing a DNA chain. Then I'm seeing it grabbed up on top and untwisting, opening up the DNA chain to become this infinity. That is the DNA chain with one twist left, making the infinity. And you take out that last twist to finally get to this. We're all one. And I'm like, and that's in that single infinity symbol representing all of this, from our DNA changing, opening to infinity to show a reflection of above and below, and then eventually getting to where we understand we're all one. And that's in that one infinity symbol. Why does this stuff go through my head?